So if you're wondering why I'm wearing stickers of the New York Jets on my face, it's because I lost a bet because I thought that the Bengals were so good that they could beat the Jets. We're going to talk about that bet, along with the Jets getting spanked by the Colts, a now 3-5 team on Thursday Night Football. And then we're going to get into Odell Beckham Jr., DeSean Jackson, and all the craziness that's going on around the NFL and where those guys might land. And then, of course, we're going to give you our Week 9 picks right here on the Locked On NFL podcast. I'm Chris Carter with Jet stickers on my face, joined by your boy Q. It's going to be a fun show. Let's get this going.
You are Locked On NFL, your daily NFL podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome to the Locked On NFL podcast. I'm Chris Carter. He's your boy Q of Locked On Steelers and Locked On Raiders. We bring you the Friday episode of the Locked On NFL podcast every week. We thank you for making the Locked On NFL podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. And this episode of Locked On NFL is brought to you by McDonald's, proudly serving your community since 1965. McDonald's has always been more than just a place to get tasty, affordable food. It's an unofficial community center. A big thank you to our friends at McDonald's for always being there. I'm loving it. You know what I'm not loving, Q? The fact that I have stickers on my face. I ordered face tattoos, like the things that you like stick on your face and they leave like ink and then you can wash them off.
Yeah.
No, they were just straight up stickers. So I have stickers on my face, but that's fine. I can just rip these off and go to bed after we're done recording this. This is just ridiculous. But the only reason I'm wearing these tattoos, and it's so ironic because they got spanked 45 to 30 by a bad Colts team. The New York Jets, you did your face bet the week before where you said the Bengals would lose to the Ravens. The Bengals beat the Ravens, so you paid up on the Bengals fans who have been saying, how dare you disrespect our team? How dare you? They're going to be great this year. They're going to the Super Bowl. Woo! They're doing all that stuff, right? Well, you said all that, so you paid up. You wore some Bengal stripes in your face last week, and so then you challenged me to wear some stuff on my face, to make a bet to wear some stuff on my face. So I did. I bet on the Bengals. I said, hey, they're the great, the elite, the unstoppable, the Illuminati Bengals. They're not going to lose to the lowly Jets. They're not going to lose to a one-win team. They're going to do fine. No, what do? They lose to Mike White. Some guy you ain't never heard of walked in, beat up on Joe Burrow, made him look like a bum, outplayed him, and then here you go. I'm wearing Jet stickers on my face because the Bengals are overrated. Just like Skyline Chili is overrated. Just like Cincinnati is overrated. The entire city, the football team, the food they serve, everything is overrated. Am I ranting because I'm mad because I'm wearing stickers? Yes. Am I inaccurate? No. The Bengals are just poop. They are going to fall apart later this season. I told you this was going to happen later. I didn't think it would happen against the Jets, but here I am wearing Jet stickers on my face on a night they lost 45 to 30 to the Indianapolis Colts, led by Carson Wentz. I'm sorry for yelling so long, Q.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to just let you keep going, man. I didn't know if you were, if you were done, if you were just going to keep it rolling. So, hey, man, I was okay with that. But look, the Bengals are a good team. I think this is
Are they? Are they? Because they lost to the Jets. Are you a good team if you lose to the Jets?
Well, look, Tennessee lost to the Jets.
And you know what? No. I take Tennessee. They're not a good team anymore.
They are a good team. They just lost their best players, so they're going to be hurt by that. But I do think this, and to your credit, the Bengals, I think, are a good team, but good teams don't overlook bad teams. And I think that they overlooked the Jets and thought that the Jets were going to sleepwalk and they were going to just beat the brakes off them, and they didn't. That's why you have stickers on your face right now that say Jets. It's not. Hey, look, it happens. You look good with stickers on your face. It
I
gives
do.
you a little,
Listen.
you need a little extra color in your life anyway.
Okay, first of all, you stop that. First of all, the
Saying.
stuff you put, because you are so dark skinned, the stuff you put on your face, we could barely see last week.
That's not my fault.
That's not my
Not my
fault. You're
fault.
right. It's not. It's not. You were just born with that. You were just born
right.
with that. That's just the truth right there. Me, I'm light skinned. You can see all of this green, all of this white. I have a Jets for Life sticker on my forehead. What has happened to my life? That is what is going on here. The Bengals did this to me because for one time, this is the first time in my life I've ever put any faith in the Bengals because the Bengals fans, they were coming, come on, guys.
They were coming at us pretty hard.
The Bengals to believe in the Bengals.
Yeah, they were.
We believed in you, and you let us down, and now I look like this.
I still believe in them. I still believe in them, by the way.
Are they the one seed in the AFC? Are they that good?
No, they're not that good, but they're
exactly. They were never that good. They're a bunch of overrated pretenders.
They have a good record.
Smacked. They're going to get smacked. They're going to end up being 9-8 this season after this amazing start.
I like defense. They have a good defense.
Yeah, a good defense does not give up all them points to Mike White.
They were overlooking the Jets. It happens. Teams think that they're so good, and those are usually teams that aren't that good yet, but they have the ability. Cincinnati's headed in the right direction. They just weren't in the right direction that day for you.
Q, look at my face.
I know. And then the Jets.
They aren't that good.
This is the worst part of the whole thing. Then the Jets turn around and get whooped and waxed. Football, yeah.
I thought maybe, hey, the Colts aren't a good team. Maybe the Jets win again. And then it's like I'm saying Jets, Jets. And then I'm like kind of proud about the stickers on my face that, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm ahead of the curve. Maybe Mike White is the next Patrick Mahomes. Maybe he's the second coming. No, he was just the guy that got to play the Bengals last week and lit them up, tore them apart, ripped them apart, and showed them they're pretenders and frauds. And that's what happened there.
And then Mike White gets injured. So that didn't help.
Unfortunate in this game. And then Josh Johnson comes in and throws 3 touchdowns. What's up with that?
Well, he's a seasoned veteran. He's been around the league a long time. And then I think the thing that's the worst problem or the biggest issue coming out of this game for me, in my opinion, is Marcus May apparently has some kind of Achilles injury. And I don't know if it's a tear or not. And if it's a tear, he's going to be a free agent. He's going to miss out on a lot of money. That I feel for him because Marcus May is a really good, talented safety, young, talented safety in the league that looked like he was about to cash in, and he might not get that same opportunity. He's still going to make some money, but he won't get that same opportunity if he's coming off an Achilles injury as a safety.
No, yeah, that's extremely tough, and it's very unfortunate. And on the eve, this next year is going to be the boom of the salary cap. This is going to be when everyone's trying to get paid. It's going to be really rough for anyone who's injured. So I feel very bad for Marcus May. We got to still see the final report to see if that is what that is. Maybe it's just an injury that sidelines him for a little bit. If it is, we
just
hope
be injury, yeah.
If that's what it is, we hope so. You never want to see any player hurt. So very unfortunate. But how about our boy Carson Wentz going 22 of 30 for 3 touchdowns and no interceptions, 272 yards, spreading the ball around, hit Michael Pittman for 5 catches for 64 yards and a touchdown.
Nice.
Pittman's nice. Pittman is nice.
He's their number 1 wide receiver. He's nice.
I don't think he's becoming. I think he is their number 1 wide receiver. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, because T.Y. Hilton, he's obviously their number 1 talent, but with his injuries, Michael Pittman's got to be that guy.
Absolutely. But the number one guy in the Colts offense right now is John Taylor. He's lighting it up. 19 carries, 172 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I believe he's now going to be the top fantasy running back with Derrick Henry out for the year.
And that's the other thing that this game did, and you got to give the Colts a lot of credit. Now that Derrick Henry's down, and again, like you said, we don't ever want anyone to be injured. You don't ever want to have an advantage because someone's injured. But with Henry out, knowing how much he means to that Titans offense, the Colts still have a dark horse chance of catching them. I mean, they're a little bit behind, but they have a dark horse chance of catching them if the Titans go and lose a couple games.
They do. They do have a shot to catch them. I think they're now 4-5 on the season. That's and now like the Titans don't have an easy schedule by any means. Like the Titans still have a lot of tough games ahead of them, and those games are even tougher. Heck, they got the Rams this week. That was going to be the game of the week. Rams, Derrick Henry, Rams, Aaron Donald, Titans, Titans, Derrick Henry. Now he's gone. They still got Julio Jones, AJ Brown, Ryan Tannehill, Kevin Byard. Okay, that's cool, but that team was driven by Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry has 237 touches. The next closest guy is 165. And the only reason I know that is because he's the Steelers' Najee Harris, and I cover him. Like that's ridiculous. Najee Harris is getting the ball a whole ton for the Steelers, but it's not even close to what the way the Titans were getting the ball to Derrick Henry. That's the crazy part. But with the Titans, they're 6-2, and it's great that they're 6-2 right now. But this week, they've got the Rams in Los Angeles. That's a loss. They've got the Saints. Even though they're without Jameis Winston, that team is built on defense. That's not going to be easy. They'll get the Texans at home. That could be a win.
That's a dub.
The Patriots in New England.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Who knows? Because the Patriots have been up and down this season. They got the Jaguars at home. I'll give the Titans a dub, but they're on the road in Pittsburgh. Who knows where Pittsburgh will be? Will their defense be healthy that week? Will Najee Harris be even better that week? Who knows? The Niners at home, that's not easy. The Dolphins at home, that can be a win. The Texans on the road, that could be a win. So, I see here 1, 2, 3, 4 wins that they definitely should get, which would get them to 10 wins. So, if
10 wins don't mean you're in the playoffs, though. Ask the Dolphins a year ago.
Well, 7 teams, though.
Right, but still, the Dolphins a year ago had 10 wins and missed the playoffs.
No, that's a good point. I was
you know what I mean?
Year.
So
wow. I was thinking that was 2 years ago, but you're right.
Double-digit wins used to mean you were making the playoffs. It doesn't guarantee that. I think that the race in the South can get a lot closer if the Colts can get on a roll. And Tennessee, like I said, is hurting now because they don't have Derrick Henry. And I like Adrian Peterson a lot. I respect him a lot. But look, he hasn't been in the league for a minute. He's 36 years old, and as we know, Father Time is undefeated.
Unless he's going up against Tom Brady, because Tom Brady is whooping his behind right now.
He's a quarterback, though. He's different when it comes to Father Time and quarterback.
No, I totally feel you on that. I totally feel you in that. But we got to cut to a break. We come back. There's some key free agent moves that are coming, and we want to talk about what those moves are and where those guys might land. And these are big name players that are floating out there. I'll give you a hint. His name rhymes with Odell Beckham Jr. That's just a hint.
That was terrible. You just need to go to break after that. That was terrible.
Listen, I'm going to break after that. Jeez, I've got stickers on my face, Q. I'm not on my best game this week. I'm sorry.
Obviously.
Anyways, this show is brought to you by McDonald's. This episode of Locked On NFL is brought to you by McDonald's, proudly serving community since 1965. McDonald's has been more than just a place to get tasty, affordable food. It's a place where friends and families can come to reconnect, a place where classmates can meet up for a study group knowing they'll have dependable Wi-Fi and endless supplies of French fries and McFlurries. Win or lose, it's a place where my teammates, competitors, and the home team or the away team can come to recharge. It's the place where you can look forward to stopping at on a long road trip to rest your legs and refuel. I can tell you right now, I did not go into McDonald's with these Jet stickers on my face, but I have gone into McDonald's to get some of that good food. You know, sometimes late night you just want to grab some fries and a shake on your way home, or you're on the road, you need a quick breakfast, you don't want to stop for too long, you grab yourself a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit sandwich. That's an awesome way to get through it. Go to McDonald's, have a positive experience at McDonald's, and head to your local McDonald's today to refuel and reconnect, because at McDonald's, they always give you something to enjoy, and at McDonald's, you are loving it.
I'm loving it.
Sure. You don't have stickers on your face.
I still love it.
We're keeping it rolling here on the Locked On NFL podcast. I'm Chris Carter. He's your boy Q. It's an exciting week in the NFL. I mean, outside of all the games, there's been a lot of craziness. Also, we were talking about these games, and we're talking about the Bengals and they're falling apart. I tweeted after the Steelers beat the Browns, Q. I tweeted the Steelers broke the Browns, because if you followed that history of, it's tough to call it a rivalry because the Steelers have just dominated the Browns for so long. Right. That playoff win by the Browns is the biggest thing that they can hold up to the Steelers over 30 years. But when you follow this history, you know that there have been 6 Browns coaches who have been fired the day after or the week after they lost to the Steelers. Like, that's just like a doomsday situation. And now you have Odell Beckham Jr., the guy you signed for humongous money. His dad goes off on social media about Baker Mayfield. You've got Odell Beckham Jr. and let's make no mistake, this is definitely a campaign that he's pushing on his own. He's got athletes across the country: John Morant, Damian Lillard, LeBron James, the guy who brought Cleveland a title. LeBron James, the guy who brought Cleveland their only title, is tweeting out free #FreeOBJ. That's how bad this situation has been in Cleveland. And Cleveland's sticking by their man, Baker Mayfield. This is all revolving around, is it Odell? Is it Baker? Let's be real. Listen, Odell's been, a drama queen since he was with the Giants. There's no doubt about that. But Baker Mayfield is a below average quarterback. He can't consistently hit outside the numbers. He needs a dominant run game to play off of so that he doesn't have teams focusing on his passing game. And even when that happens, he can't consistently hit targets down the field. This has been part of, so it's like, hey, Odell's like, listen, man, I want, if we're going to succeed, you need to be able to use your high paid wide receiver. They haven't used him in 2 years, and it's showing. And and that doesn't excuse Odell's actions in these situations, but this whole situation is a mess. The Browns failed to trade Odell Beckham knowing this was a problem, and now the reports are that they're going to release him on Friday.
Right. It should be interesting. Look, and there's a lot of guilt to go around in this whole issue, I feel like. I think the Cleveland Browns as an organization, the way that they've dealt with Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham. I mean, if you get Odell Beckham, the plan is to use him, right? I mean, that's the only reason you acquire him in the beginning is to go ahead and use him. He gets teamed up with Jarvis Landry. You think, man, it's going to be a good 1-2 punch. Those guys are best friends. They don't care about who gets what, who gets the shine, who gets the rock thrown their way. And it just hasn't worked out. Now, a lot of this also is on Odell Beckham Jr. for not being healthy. He's been injured the whole couple years he's been there with the Cleveland Browns. So when he's been out there, yeah, he's available, but he hasn't really had any kind of chemistry with Baker. I think there's a lot of blame to go around, but the one thing I do know, without being able to identify the source of the biggest issue, I just know that it's not working. You know what I mean? The relationship's not working. So at some point, they've got to make a break. Like you said, Friday, it sounds like they're gonna release him. It sounds like they're gonna come to some kind of financial agreement, and then boom, they're gonna release him. And then he's got to clear waivers, and then who knows what team he'll sign. I don't think any team will claim him off of waivers because then they got to give him that big fat contract. So I think that they'll let him clear waivers, and then that's when the games begin. Where does he go? And who is he? Is he a really good wide receiver still, or is he just a guy?
That's a good question. Is he a wide receiver? Or is he just a guy right now? My thing is this, though, is that when you look at the all 22 tape on the Browns, and especially I looked at it even closer because the Steelers were playing this week, it was a matter of Odell Beckham Jr. is wide open. He's wide open so many times. I mean, that's the thing. If the Browns had and name Kirk Cousins. If the Browns had Kirk Cousins, I think that they would be a much better team right now. If they had a moderately decent quarterback who could just hit an open receiver outside the numbers consistently, they would be a very tough team to stop. But because they
where should he go? So the question is, where should he go? If he's still the guy, if he's still a really good wide receiver, and it sounds like they're going to release him, the next step is, where does he go? Who should get him, and does he shine there?
Who should get him? You know what's crazy? The Rams are loading up, but send him to the Rams. If I'm Odell Beckham Jr., I don't care about money. I've been making money. I've been getting paid. I want to go somewhere where I can prove to everyone I'm a winner.
They didn't even have room for DeSean Jackson. He just got released.
That's true. They didn't have room for him. But if I'm Odell Beckham Jr., I'm like, let me take whatever deal I can get to play with a team that can use that has a good quarterback, a strong-armed quarterback, a good team around you, so that you're not trying to lift everyone up, and you can just go there, shut up, play football, make big plays, and then look back and say, "See, it was never me in Cleveland." That's what I.
Where does he go? That's the question. So where does he go?
So I mean, I look at the Rams. I look at the Rams and say, like,
the Rams. They
sign a vet minimum contract with the Rams.
No, there wasn't enough balls around for DeSean Jackson. How's there going to be enough balls for Odell Beckham?
Because Odell Beckham Jr. ain't DeSean Jackson.
Get out here.
You find a way. You find a way to get Odell Beckham
DeSean
Jr.
Jackson
the ball.
is a one-trick pony at this point in his career. He don't need that much attention. And if they didn't have enough balls to throw to him, look, Cooper Kupp is about to break all kind of records. He's going to have 5 million by the end of the season.
Who else get? You think Robert Woods? I'm saying, yo, Robert, take a back seat. Odell Beckham Jr.'s here. You playing there.
I don't think LA is an option.
You,
Again, if that was an option, I think DeSean Jackson would still be there. And I'll ask you about DeSean Jackson in a minute, where he should go, because he cleared waivers. He's a free agent. He can sign with anybody at this point. And I got some ideas in my head where he can go, but I need to discover Odell Beckham Jr. right now. Where is he going to go? Green Bay?
As I was going, Green Bay Packers. They got about $5.2 million in cap space.
Okay.
All they got is Devontae Adams and Randall Cobb. You give Odell Beckham Jr. to Aaron Rodgers, he's going to find a way to not only throw the ball to him, but he's going to find a way to vibe with Odell Beckham Jr., calm him down and be like, look, buddy, I run the show here. I'm not Daniel Jones. I'm not Baker Mayfield. I'm the sheriff around these parts. Yeah. You go, and he's also going to have Devontae Adams in the same room with him. And as good as Jarvis Landry has been in his career, he ain't no Devontae Adams.
No, nobody is. Devontae Adams is special, but I can agree with that one. Green Bay is something I can get down with. I can see him wearing the green and gold. I can see him being a Packer and playing with Aaron Rodgers and being similar to what Antonio Brown is in Tampa Bay with Tom Brady. Exactly. It's when a wide receiver who has a little bit of temper tantrum issues, or, is what they call a diva. And I say that in air quotes because whatever, it doesn't really bother me. I don't care. A guy that wants the ball he doesn't bother me at all. But those kind of guys that may get out of line with just anybody don't get out of line with elite guys. As you saw from Antonio Brown, what he does in Tampa Bay with Tom Brady, he gets along with him just fine.
Just fine. And let's talk about the other guy you mentioned, DeSean Jackson. He's been released. He's looking for a new team. DeSean Jackson, different story.
Yep.
It's ridiculous how DeSean Jackson is still this fast in his career. He's what, 32, 33, however old he is. Like he's ridiculously old to be this fast.
I got speed like him too.
Okay.
I run like DeSean Jackson. I'm 45. I just turned 45. I got those wheels still.
Sure you do. You know what? We're going to do a live Locked On NFL show where you got to run a 40-yard dash, and we will
Let's do it. Am I running against you?
Yeah. You run against me.
I just got to beat you. Look, I'm like that Red Bull commercial. I ain't got to be fast as a lion. I just got to be faster than you.
Listen, that's fine. You can toast me, but everyone will see that. Listen, I know I'm slow. You're the one that just said you got DeSean Jackson speed. So if you don't run at least a 4.6, you're in trouble, buddy. The whole world will see. You're going to run like slow. Like Rich Eisen will beat you in a race.
He will not. He will not. He won't.
How would you say this, though? Because DeSean Jackson's a different story.
Yeah.
He needs a team. What do you think about the Raiders? The squads you cover being a squad that he can land with.
Honestly, I think that would be a good fit. I really do. And there's been people that say, what about Odell Beckham Jr.? People hit me up all the time. I don't think that he fits in that locker room.
Yeah,
I don't think Odell Beckham Jr. fits in that locker room. And that's just my gut feeling. That doesn't mean that he doesn't. That's just my gut feeling. I don't think he fits. But I think DeSean Jackson would, because, like I said, he's a guy that can stretch the field. He's a guy that still has wheels. He's a guy that Derek Carr can just let it rip and he can go get it. I mean, that's what he wants to do. He wants to run those post routes. He wants to run those nines. He wants to do, he wants to, like I said, stretch the field. I think that would work. He's a West Coast guy. I think he wants to stay on the West Coast, just like he was in LA. And if you look at what options there are on the West Coast, you got the 49ers. They got quarterback questions. You got the Chargers. That's a good team. That's a really good team, but you got Keenan Allen.
And Mike Williams.
You got Mike Williams. And I don't know if you really, Justin Herbert's a really good quarterback, though, so he might want to do that, too, and stay in L.A. But the other option, I think, is to come to Vegas and be with the Raiders. And so I honestly, and I said this on the radio on Thursday, my gut feeling tells me he's going to be a member of the Silver and Black when it's all said and done. If I had to look at one of those guys, I would say he's going to be a Raider.
It makes sense to me. DeSean Jackson to the Raiders, and we have Odell Beckham Jr. to the Packers. That would just be a
Packers would be nice for Odell Beckham.
That would be a three-headed monster from hell.
Yeah,
Aaron
Rodgers.
They're
a good team. I mean, look at them. They're a really good team. Now Jordan Love's going to be the quarterback this week because Aaron Rodgers is out with COVID.
How about that?
But at some point he'll come back, and I mean that's an elite quarterback with an elite wide receiver that at least was an elite wide receiver at one point. And if you can't be an elite wide receiver with that quarterback, then it's on you now.
Yeah, that's the thing. If Odell Beckham fails with Aaron Rodgers, there's no more excuses.
No, it's on him.
Yeah, it'll be completely on him. But I will say, Odell Beckham Jr. is getting wide open, and there were some passes that Jarvis Landry dropped, the last week against the Steelers. But like they're like on the fourth down play, Jarvis Landry beat his man Cameron Sutton, a Steeler, and it took Baker Mayfield like an extra 2 or 3 seconds to find him, and that gave Minkah Fitzpatrick all the time to break on the ball and break up the pass on 4th down to get a huge stop. That was the last time the Browns would have the ball in the game. That's the difference when you're playing with Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham Jr. and Jarvis Landry, is that Baker can sometimes hit his man, but he's not nearly consistent enough, especially for being a first overall pick in the NFL draft. But we'll see how this plays out. We'll see if if Odell Beckham Jr. gets released and where he goes. I'm sure there will be teams that'll be working to get him. Josina Anderson reported teams were quote unquote sniffing around the Browns facility to see, excuse me, what's going on there. But we've got to talk about.
Might try to go get him too. Saints might try to go get him. They don't have Michael Thomas. He's out for the year.
Right, but the Saints are even like they have the lowest cap space. They have less than $1 million in cap space right now. Like
never mind.
They would have to do some wild stuff to make that happen. Who knows? Maybe they can give them a whole bunch of, they can give $20 million in void money, whatever the heck that means. Because a lot of teams are doing that this summer.
Yeah.
But we got to get to our picks. We'll do that in just a minute. But first, I got to tell you guys about Built Bar. Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar ever. If you haven't tried it, Built Bar now, you are missing out. They say it's a protein bar, but it does not taste like one. You have to try one of these amazing bars yourself to believe it. Most protein bars are chalky, waxy, or just plain hard to choke down. A Built Bar is soft, covered in 100% real chocolate. When you bite into it, you know you're eating something different. It's more of an experience, one that you'll enjoy. And in fact, you'd swear you're eating a candy bar. Built Bars are low carb, low calorie, low fat, low sugar, and high in protein. All the healthy benefits on top of just being purely delicious. So many flavors. Another great thing about Built Bars, they have all the mouth-watering flavors, including coconut, raspberry, mint brownie, coconut almond, salted caramel, double chocolate, and cherry barcia. This month, Built is coming out with a new unlimited time flavors every 3 to 4 days. Check their website out often this month. You don't want to miss out by going to built.com and use the promo code LOCKED15. That's LOCKED15, LOCKED15 to get 15% off your next order. Again, that's promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. We're also brought to you by BetOnline. We're back and better than ever at BetOnline. A new web interface for the start of the basketball season, and more prompts, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all basketball and football action this season. Head to the new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use promo code LOCKEDON. That's LOCKEDON, locked on, all capital letters, all one word, to receive your bonus. From basketball to football to baseball to postseason, which is now over now, but that was an awesome time. If you got to make some money on the Atlanta Braves, you were probably happy about it, but there's still plenty of NHL action, boxing, and UFC right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season at BetOnline, which is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. Let's wrap this up here, Q. We keep it rolling here with our double ad reads here. Let's talk about some games here. So we got some games that we're breaking
I got
down.
a question first.
What's up?
Why you got stickers on your face?
Man,
no, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I kid.
When you came to Pittsburgh, who hosted you? Who took you to the best wing spot in the city?
That has nothing to do with you having stickers on your face.
Who got you like drinks on their porch? Free drink. You ain't pay for nothing. Who made
nothing to do with stickers on your face?
Who made you was cool? And you just gonna sell me out like that?
I wasn't. I was propping you up.
That's what you were doing.
Those stickers look good on you.
Yeah, totally. That's exactly what they look good on me.
You want to make another bet for next week?
You make the bet this week. Make the bet this week. I made the bet last week. Right. So you made one. I made one. Now you make one this week. No. You making a bet this week, man. Let's go. You got to get stickers on your face.
Go.
All right. So our first game, we're breaking down 6 games this week. We're going to pick some games here. We're starting off in the 1 o'clock hour. The 4-4 Patriots at the 4-4 Panthers. Your Fighting Matt Rules have been fighting. Yeah, just futilely because they've been struggling. They started off red hot. Now they're 4-4. They've fallen back. They won last week, I believe. But The Patriots are playing some really good football. I'm going with Mac Jones and the Patriots in this one.
I think that the Patriots will probably win this one as well. The thing about it is, Matt Rule is a 3-year guy. I mean, that's what he is. That's what his plans always are. And I thought early in the season when I was excited about what the Panthers were doing when they got off to that 3-0 start, I thought, man, he's ahead of the curve. He's got this team cooking in year 2, and usually it takes a year 3, and then the regress hits, and now they're at 4-4. So he's got the makeup of. He's got the team where he wants them. He still needs a quarterback, though. Obviously, Sam Darnold's not the guy. So we'll see what happens after the season, what direction they go. If they go and try to pursue Deshaun Watson and get him out of Houston, if he goes and tries to get a quarterback out of the draft, I don't know what he's going to do, but that quarterback position needs to be solidified. So I think the Patriots have their guy, so I'm going to roll with New England in this one. But Matt Rule's still got those Panthers headed in the right direction. It's just going to take a third year like it always does.
The Battle of Ohio, the Browns at the Bengals, who've done this to me.
Yep.
Now, here's the thing. I normally would pick the Bengals to just lose. I was just say, you know what? You failed me. You're dead to me, Cincinnati. But see, here's the thing. Cleveland's even worse. They're dealing with all that Odell Beckham Jr. nonsense. They're broken after Pittsburgh. I think that they're going to be going on the road to Cincinnati. These two teams don't like each other already. There's going to be a battle. I think the Bengals are a better team in the first place. And I think that they know, like, look, we can't have another letdown game like the Jets. Despite me wearing these Jets stickers on my face because of you, Bengals, I'm picking you to win the game. You better win at home. If you don't, you're going to hear it all week long on the show.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati bounces back. I really do. I think they improved to 6-2 on the season, and they just go about their business. It would be 6-2, right? Or is it 7-2?
They'd be 6-3.
6-3. Excuse me. Yeah, 6-3. I think that they do take that step. I think that they realize the mistake that they made by losing to the Jets last week. They overlooked them. Again, good teams don't overlook anybody. And I think that they started to feel themselves a little bit. You start smelling yourself. You start reading the headlines. You start hearing guys like us, not us in particular, but just media guys talking about how great you are, and you start believing it. I think they came back down to earth. They got a reality check, and now they're ready to get rejuvenated. I think that number 4 overall defense that they had before they played the Jets will show up again and make life difficult on Baker Mayfield and Jarvis Landry and no Odell Beckham Jr. So, yeah, I think that they get the dub on Sunday.
Moving along, Raiders at Giants. Normally, we could do this game. This isn't a particular intrigue.
Right.
Man, the Raiders should smash the Giants, but the Raiders just can't avoid drama right now. They can't avoid horrible situations. John Gruden getting caught up in tweeting and sending out crazy emails with racist references in them,
and that don't even seem bad anymore compared to what they got going on now.
And Henry Ruggs. I mean, jeez,
I'll tell you right now. I'm not trying to make this a whole Raiders podcast, but man, that was an emotional, and it still is emotional here in Las Vegas, emotional around the team, emotional around the community. Just horrific, man. A horrific, terrible decision that he made cost a young woman her life, only 23 years old.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it cost him his life too. I mean, he's still alive, but he's 22 years old. He's going to be facing some time in jail. He's lost his career. I mean, everything just went from the penthouse to the outhouse real quick, real fast, and real in a hurry. And it was unfortunate for him. And it's definitely terrible. And, we have all the prayers in the world for the victim and her family. But man, it's just, you want to talk about emotions. Emotions have been, I've been an emotional wreck all week long dealing with everything going on with Henry Ruggs. And so I just had to take that second to show that love and dedication to the family of the victim and everything, man, and hate that for a young man to throw his life away as well. So this is going to be a weird, strange feeling game on Sunday against the G-Men. Like you said, a game that the Raiders should smash them, but given the circumstances, who knows what kind of emotions they're going to come out with.
Yeah, it's a lot of crazy stuff that's going on with the Raiders right now. Henry Ruggs, as irresponsible as he was in that driving 150-ish miles per hour. If you're driving over 100 miles per hour like that, you're ridiculous. But then also to be below a 0.161 blood alcohol content in the test, that's just ridiculously irresponsible. But I do appreciate Derek Carr saying he's going to try to love him through this, and he's in it because he knows that Henry Ruggs needs love. And some people say, oh, how can you? He didn't say he was going to let him off. He's,
Right.
because you know what, like, if your loved one, if your child, if your brother, if your sister made a dumb mistake, you'd still love them. You would let them know that they're idiots. You would let them know the consequences of their
Right.
actions, and you wouldn't try to spare them, but you would let them
No.
know, like, hey, I still love you through this, and I want you to grow through this. This isn't the end of Henry Ruggs' life. It's the end of his NFL career, most likely. But
Right.
this is a situation where he has to bounce back. Dante Stallworth went through this
Yep.
one time. So, this is a crazy time for them. But Raiders at the Giants, I think the Raiders actually come out on top in this one. I think that they're gonna find a way. They're gonna find some resilience here. The Giants are just also not a good football team.
Right.
And I think that's the Raiders will struggle with this game. This will be close, to be down to the wire, but I think the Raiders find a way to win.
I don't even know who's going to win this game. I'm not even going to pick a team. I'm not. I know the Giants, like you just said, aren't very good, and the Raiders are a lot better than them. I'm just intrigued by this game because, again, I just want to see how they come out. Is it a relief to be onto the field after everything that they've gone through? Is it troublesome to be on the field? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And the more part of the game that I'm really concerned about is just watching it and observing it. So I'm not even going to pick a side. I'm just going to say it's going to be an intriguing game for everything that's going on.
Let's run through these last games fast, Q, because we're running out of time here. Packers at Chiefs, 7-1 at 4-4, but no Aaron Rodgers. I'm going with the Chiefs. This is my last time I'm trusting you, Kansas City. You better win with Patrick Mahomes. If you don't, it's disaster season.
I'm going with the Chiefs as well, but I'm so intrigued by Jordan Love. I can't wait to see what he could bring to the table. Because look, this could be the beginning of the changing of the guard. You never know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers
Very
after
true.
this season. If
Very
Jordan
true.
Love looks the part against Kansas City, say he goes into Arrowhead and wins. Say he goes into Arrowhead and wins.
Changes everything.
Changes everything. So I'm intrigued. I'm pulling for the young man. I actually hope Green Bay wins. I just think my brain tells me Kansas City's going to win.
Same here. Cardinals at 7-1 at 3-4. Niners. Cardinals. Kyler Murray's been banged up a little bit, coming off a tough loss to the Packers. I still have the Cardinals winning, though. They're going to find a way to gut this one out, even if Kyler Murray can't play. This team is talented. They got a tough defense. I don't think the Niners are that good. Niners fall to 3-5. Cardinals rise to 8-1.
I just think this is a good NFC West matchup, and you could throw the records out the window. And I know the Cardinals are a lot better on paper and statistically, and their record better than San Francisco. But I think when these NFC West teams get together, man, it's kind of a bloodbath. And so this one intrigues me for that reason. I do think Arizona wins, but again, injuries and who's playing and who's not playing could play a major factor into it. I still think that they're better, like you said, than San Francisco, but it's an NFC West matchup, man. It's going to be a fun one.
Absolutely. It definitely is going to be a fun one. I agree with that. Last game we're talking about here, Sunday Night Football.
Let's go, baby.
6-2 Titans at 7-1 Rams. I'm sorry, no Derrick Henry, no problem. The Rams will roll this one.
And that's what the Indianapolis Colts, who got that big victory on Thursday night, that's what they're hoping as well. No Derrick Henry, and Tennessee has no chance. That's what they're thinking. They think they can get back into the race in the South. I think that this is a one step closer for them. I think it helps them get a little bit closer to Tennessee because I do think that the Rams get that victory. It's in L.A. as well, right?
It is in L.A. That's the thing. They're going to the West Coast. This is going to be a rough situation. It's Sunday Night Football. I think the Rams roll them in this game.
I do too. Cooper Kupp, he's on a record pace right now to go ahead and break every record ever known to man for wide receivers.
Man.
I don't know if he's going to keep it up, but man, I hate to be on pace guy, but he's on pace to break a lot of records. So that's another reason to watch this game. Very excited about it. Plus, I want to see Von Miller get a little bit of action, a little bit of burn as he was traded from the Broncos to the Rams earlier this week before the trade deadline. So that's another reason to tune into Sunday Night Football. Besides the fact it's Sunday Night Football.
Absolutely, Q. This is always awesome. I'm going to take these stupid stickers off. Let people know.
Don't take it out till the show's over, dude.
Let people know they can find you, follow you, and get more of your work.
Well, you can find me talking bad about Chris Carter on Twitter at all times at your boy Q254. At your boy Q254. That's Locked On Raiders podcast. That's Locked On Bets. Everything I do is always on Twitter. It's like a GPS. It's like a tracking device. That's how you can find me at all times on Twitter. And I'll definitely be talking about Christopher Carter, aka Carter Critiques.
You can find Chris Carter at Carter Critiques on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me to get all my stuff. I cover Steelers, Pitt football, Pitt basketball. If you want to read about Kenny Pickett, the quarterback phenom that everyone has everyone talking about moving up their draft boards, I've been covering him all season long. I've been doing film analysis on him. You can get that at dkpittsburghsports.com or follow me on Twitter at Carter Critiques to see all my work on him. They play Duke this weekend. He looks like he's probably going to have a big game against them. So follow me. I'll be covering that game there. You can also listen to the Locked On Steelers podcast, just like you listen to the Raiders podcast on Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Odyssey. You can also check us out on YouTube, just like you're watching the Locked On NFL podcast here. We thank you from Chris and Q for listening to / watching this. There we go. The last sticker's off. Watching this Locked On NFL podcast. We hope that you did watch this on the YouTube channel, because then you would have seen all the stickers that I had to wear on my face.
You look good, man. You look good.
Thank you. I appreciate you giving me some words of encouragement, but I swear the Bengals will pay for this. And if they lose to the Browns, it's going to be bad.
Well, it's all good. Appreciate you, man. Great show, and we'll be back at it again next week.
Yes, sir.